Today we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting with one of the most iconic and surprisingly interesting coins ever produced by the United States, mint the 1972 Liberty 1-cent coin. Also commonly called the 1972 Lincoln penny, this humble little coin has a story that stretches far beyond its 1-cent face value. Get ready, because whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just found one in your change, this coin might just be worth a lot more than you think. The 1972 Liberty 1-cent is part of the classic Lincoln Memorial series, which was first introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This series replaced the earlier Whittier's reverse design and featured the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design that remained in use until 2008. On the front of the coin is the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words "I in God we trust" above his head, Liberty beside him, and the date 1972 clearly struck into the metal dot on the reverse. You'll find the Lincoln Memorial with United States of America above it, and 1 cent below, flanked by E Pluribus Unum, the traditional motto of the United States. This design isn't just pretty, it symbolizes a pivotal figure in American history and has become one of the most collected and studied coins in the hobby. In 1972, pennies were still made primarily of copper. Unlike today's copper-plated zinc cents, coins before 1982 were solid copper, weighing about 3.11 grams and measuring 19 millimeters in diameter. These were heavy little pieces of history that served everyday commerce, paying for candy, parking meters, soda machines, and more. That year, coins were struck at 3 main facilities: Philadelphia Mint, no mint marked; Denver Mint marked with a D; San Francisco Mint marked with an S. Although millions of these coins were minted, making them common in circulation, the 1972 penny is especially memorable for legendary era varieties that sent collectors scrambling in the decades that followed. Absolutely, the 1972 penny circulated widely across the United States throughout the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and into the 21st century. Most of these coins quietly changed hands for everyday purchases. Because pennies were so common and inexpensive to use, many ended up in jars, lost in couch cushions, stuck in piggy banks, and forgotten in rolls of change. That's part of why finding a 1972 penny in great condition today is exciting. Most were heavily worn. So what is the value of a 1972 penny today for most people? The answer is simple. Common circulated 1972 pennies are typically worth only their face value, 1 cent. Yes, most everyday pennies you find in your pocket are just worth 1 cent, but here's where it gets fascinating. Even though most are common, certain 1972 pennies are extremely valuable, and we mean tens of thousands of dollars valuable. It all comes down to errors and mint varieties. This is the holy grail of 1972 pennies. In a double die coin, the die that struck the design was itself engraved twice, slightly off position. The result? The letters and date appear boldly double, not subtly, and you can see it with your naked eye. Liberty looks duplicated. I in God we trust shows shadowing the 1972 date appears thick and twice struck. This particular error is called the 1972 double die obverse, and it's one of the most dramatic and famous coin errors in Lincoln cent history. Values vary wildly based on condition, but top certified examples have been known to sell for upwards of $18,000 or more at auction in recent years, and historically even higher. There are other collectible mistakes that happened in the mint, including off-center strikes where the design isn't centered properly, wrong planchet errors, coins struck on incorrect metal blanks, rare proof mistakes like missing mint marks on proof coins. These can range in value from hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on severity and collector demand. Here's a current market snapshot of what you might expect for a 1972 Lincoln penny. Typical worn coin from pocket change, 1 cent to $1. These are common and usually worth circulation value. Uncirculated condition, $1 to $2.70 plus higher grade can fetch higher, especially with original red color. Uncirculated examples, $1 to several $100 better grades can push into low thousands depending on quality. San Francisco S. Penny Cameo and Deep Cameo proofs can be prized by collectors. High-grade certified error pieces $5,000 to $18,000 or more at auction. Top examples in superb condition have brought collectors huge sums. This coin is beloved for several key reasons. It's part of the iconic Lincoln Memorial series. It bridges everyday pocket change with high-end numismatics when errors are involved. Its dramatic double-die versions are legendary among coin collectors. Most people never notice the hidden treasures lurking in rolls of change. So the next time you find a 1972 Lincoln penny in your wallet or jar of coins, don't toss it without a closer look. While most of these coins are worth only a cent, the rare error versions can be extremely valuable, even fetching prices that make this tiny coin one of the most exciting finds in modern coin collecting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1972 Liberty 1 cent, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another coin treasure story. Drop a comment below if you have a 1972 penny. We might help you uncover hidden value. To my channel Coin Purchaser, where we unearth the secrets behind the most legendary coins in history. Today we're diving into a classic piece of American numismatic history that's been in piggy banks, pocket change, and collections for decades. The 1980 Liberty 1 cent coin, also known as the 1980 Lincoln Memorial penny. Stick around because what seems like a simple penny has an asterisk, unexpected story, deep history, and exciting value potential that might just blow your mind. You might think a penny is just a penny, but believe it or not, some of these 1981 cents asterisks could be worth way more than their face value. Some have even sold for hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on condition and rarity. So before you toss that old penny in your jar, you need to know this story. Let's take it back to the year 1980. The United States was in a time of economic change. Inflation was high, and precious metal prices were fluctuating, including copper, which plays a big role in our story. Since 1909, the Lincoln cent has been one of the most iconic coins in American currency. It was introduced to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the beloved 16th President of the United States, and was designed by Victor David Brenner. This was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, a revolutionary idea at the time. In 1959, to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday, the reverse was changed from 2 stalks of wheat to the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo. This reverse design remained on pennies from 1959 all the way through 2008. The 1980 Lincoln penny proudly carries this memorial on its back, a symbol of unity and freedom engraved in almost every pocket in America. Now here's something important. The 1980 penny is made of almost pure copper, 95% copper with a little zinc and tin. This heavier, more valuable metal composition lasted until 1982. When rising copper costs forced the U.S. Mint to switch to a cheaper copper-plated zinc format. That makes every pre-1982 penny, including our 1980 penny, true copper coins, and that matters for value. Let's talk design, because collectors love details. On the obverse front of the coin, you'll see the unmistakable profile of Abraham Lincoln. This is surrounded by the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the year 1980 stamped clearly beside it. Flip it over to the reverse back and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a detailed engraving that pays tribute to the place where Lincoln delivered some of his most iconic speeches. This design has stood the test of time, engraved into history and into the hearts of both casual holders and serious collectors. The 1980 Lincoln penny was produced at 3 different U.S. Mint facilities. Philadelphia Mint No Mint Mark, Denver Mint D Mint Mark, San Francisco Mint S Mint Mark, but only as proof coins with a mirror-like finish. The Philadelphia and Denver pennies were meant for circulation, while San Francisco proof pennies were struck for collectors. The sheer number of coins produced in the billions means most of these pennies are very common today. But as we'll see later, abundance doesn't always equal lack of value. If you pull a random 1980 penny from your pocket change, what is it worth? The honest answer is usually just a few cents. In circulated condition, the kind that's worn and shows years of handling, most 1980 pennies are worth between 1 cent and a few cents above face value, typically around 15 to 50 cents in today's market. Yep, most are still worth less than $1. This is because the coin was minted in very large numbers and most were spent, saved, and passed around for decades. A common circulated 1980 penny today is still worth exactly what its name says, 1 cent, unless it's in especially good condition. Now here's where this penny gets interesting. While most are common, higher grade examples and rare versions can be worth significant money. If a 1980 penny is uncirculated and in pristine condition, its value skyrockets compared to a worn coin. Coins graded mint state 65 red MS65 RDA condition, where the coin looks nearly new with original red copper color, can sell for $30 to $100 or more. Coins graded even higher, like MS67 and above, have been known to fetch hundreds or even over $1,000 at auction. There was even a record where a top-graded 1980 penny sold for over $2,200 because of exceptional quality. What about proof coins from the San Francisco Mint? Because they were made especially for collectors with mirror-like finishes, those can carry values well above face, often worth several dollars to even a few hundred for the very best specimens. And then there are error coins, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, rare mistakes that can make a 1980 penny worth even more than you'd ever expect. Values for these error coins vary wildly depending on how rare and dramatic the mistake is. So why do collectors still chase after these old pennies? First, history. These coins were everyday money for millions of Americans. They witnessed decades of change. Some carried from pocket to pocket, changing hands thousands of times. Second, metal value. Because these pennies are true copper, they are inherently worth more than their face value in terms of metal, even if collectors ignore that today's laws prevent melting them down for copper. Third, the thrill of the hunt. Coin collecting is about more than money, it's about the stories behind each coin, the craftsmanship, the errors, the history. And the humble penny has plenty of stories. So what does this all mean for you? If you have a 1980 penny in your pocket, don't panic, most are worth their face value star. But if you have a coin that's perfectly preserved, brilliantly read, free of wear, or has a rare error, you could be holding something much more valuable than you ever expected. That's the magic of coin collecting. Even the smallest cent can unlock a historic treasure. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1980 Liberty 1 cent, smash that like button, share this video with fellow coin enthusiasts, and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the world of numismatics. Drop a comment below if you found a 1980 penny. We want to hear what condition it's in and maybe even guess what it's worth. Together, happy hunting and keep those coins shining.